Hey, everybody, this is TJR,
And this is Robert Kinsler.
and we want to welcome you to the news. This is the weekly show where Robert and I discuss music news headlines and new and upcoming music releases that have grabbed our interest and that we want to share with you. As always, we can't cover everything, so if we missed anything, please share that in the comments. And this episode is mostly going to be about new and up and coming releases that we want to talk about. We've got one headline we want to share, and that is Paul McCartney, who turned 80 over the weekend. Robert, I'm going to let you kind of lead off with this, but please go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's you can't really even almost wrap your head around the fact that he's 80. But the great thing is that if you're going to turn 80, and hopefully we all get there, right? You want to do it when you're, on top of your game like Paul is. I mean, he just wrapped up his U.S. tour. I know the final date in New Jersey, Bruce Springsteen came out, John Bon Jovi came out, and I didn't get to hit any of the shows this particular tour. But from what I heard, he was on stage basically for 3 hours, playing the piano, playing the bass, playing guitar. I mean, he's the most successful songwriter of the modern era and still going strong, releasing great albums like Egypt Station. And you have to just really celebrate his incredible legacy with the Beatles, and then with Wings, and then subsequently with a really amazing solo career. And, like you're just saying, happy birthday, Paul. I mean, it's so great to have him here and to be able to celebrate his amazing legacy and all the great music we have because of him.
Over this weekend, there's been a huge outpouring of tributes from other musicians. Sean Ono Lennon posted a cover version of Here and There and Everywhere. And a lot of other musicians have posted their own tributes to him. And it's been great that to be able to go to like Twitter, and you were mentioning this earlier, and there isn't this, instead of a firestorm of divisive yelling at each other because of politics and whatever here in this country, we're all just kind of saying, happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it was so nice yesterday when I'm scrolling through Twitter, like you're saying, and there's just all these, and it was just so nice to have something positive. It's been a rough year, let's be honest, and been a rough couple of years with COVID and everything, but it was just so nice to have this outpouring of love and affection from all corners of the world, primarily musicians, but fans, everybody, just, so excited to help Paul celebrate 80 and everything. And it was wonderful.
Yeah, it has been. Quick little mention. I did post my own little tribute on the channel here. Just a quick little ditty. And when I found out it was Paul's 80th birthday, I was like, what? He's 80? Really? I should say happy birthday on YouTube. And I thought, well, why not? Why should you just say happy birthday? Why not sing a song? So I quickly composed a quick little ditty and posted it, which you can go watch.
And I know TJ's not going to say it, but I really recommend it to everybody. It's a really fun song, and I think it's a real fitting musical tribute to Paul. And I'm glad you did that, TJ.
Thank you. I was trying to write in his style that shows his influence of Tin Pan Alley, which is one of his, of course, many influences, of course, but one influence that comes up a lot is that old school Tin Pan Alley influence that he's always had a strong affection for.
Right.
But anyways, we just want to say from the two of us, happy birthday, Paul. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all the music you've given us over the decades, and just many more birthdays to come. We all hope. And
exactly.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So before we stop talking about Paul McCartney, we're going to start talking about up and coming releases and that we're excited about. But we should mention that there is going to be a McCartney, a special edition McCartney box set that you can pre-order now that will feature McCartney 1, McCartney 2, and the recently released McCartney 3. It's a special set. It'll be released on both CD and vinyl. In fact, it'll come out.
I was going to mention not only limited edition color vinyl, but also black vinyl. So
yes.
It's going to be three different actual configurations that are available.
The price points are going to be roughly $40 for the CD version. It's $100 for the colored vinyl version. That's a lot. It's $89.98 for the black vinyl version. I guess if you're going to spend that much for the black vinyl version, you might as well spring the extra 10 and get the colored vinyl version. It will come in a box set. It will, in a special box, it will include some photo prints, some exclusive photo prints for each album with exclusive notes from Paul on each album where he talks about each one. Myself personally, if you already have these three albums, I don't know why you'd pick up this set, unless, of course, you're just a collector that needs to have everything. If you don't have these albums, then these sets might be a cool, I think would probably be a cool thing for you. And I'm not sure what they mean by limited edition, because everything I've read does not say how many are going to be made available. It doesn't really state that. It just says limited edition. We'll see. Yeah. But anyways, though, that is coming out. And I know you got some stuff you want to talk about, so I'm gonna let you take over.
I do, yeah. So let me jump a little bit to another part of the UK. I'm going to talk about Simple Minds. The band has just announced a release of a new album. It's going to be called Direction of the Heart, and they've also released the first single off that album, and that song is called Vision Thing. Now this will be Simple Minds' 18th album, but it will be their first album since 2018. And I have to tell you, that album was Walk Between Worlds. That was a true return to form. In my mind, that was probably the best Simple Minds album in a quarter century. And I'm really looking forward to hearing this album, especially based on the advanced single, which I guess lead singer Jim Kerr wrote about his late father. And it's just a beautiful song. I would really, it's very euphoric, joyful. I would really encourage people to listen to that, that song, and maybe make plans to check out the album when it's released. I'm just very excited. I saw the band in Las Vegas, and I think it was the first time Simple Minds had ever played in Vegas after their last album came out, and the band was just incredible. And Jim Kerr sounds as great as ever. And also their longtime great guitarist Charlie Burchill is just an amazing and underrated guitarist who doesn't get enough credit. And boy, they just work magic together. And the rest of the band is great too, but I'm really looking forward to hearing that new album.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and take it from here and discuss an upcoming release by the band Blondie. And this is some pretty interesting news. There hasn't been anything new by them for a long time, but they are going to be releasing a career-spanning retrospective box set. It's going to be entitled Against the Odds, 1974 to 1982. And I'm going to just read from the press release here. This set is going to include remastered versions of their first 6 studio albums. So this is the entire catalog. Blondie, Plastic Letters, Parallel Lines, Eat to the Beat, Auto American, and The Hunter. This collection will also include over 4 dozen demos, including Blondie's first ever recording session, of course, alternate versions, studio outtakes, but yeah, over 4 dozen. There'll be liner notes by Aaron Osman. Hopefully I've said that name right. And this is, I think, kind of unique. I wish more bands would do this. Track by track commentary from the band on each track. Now, I'm assuming that's in written form, and that's going to be in the book. I know that when Elton John released Jewel Box, he did a track by track commentary for the first 2 discs in that set, which were his deep cuts. And that was just so great to read, to sit there with the book and read his commentary on each track on those 2 discs. I'm sorry he didn't do it on the rest of it, but he did it on those 2 discs. And so I'm assuming that's going to be in the book, the track by track commentary. But I mean, I'm wondering, will this be track by track for all the studio albums? I hope so. Because that's just, to me, is just too cool. At any rate, though, but yeah, track by track commentary from the band, and essays by producers Mike Chapman, Richard, hopefully I say this right, Go Terror, hopefully I've said that correctly, Ken Shipley, an illustrated discography, and many photographs from the period, of course. This is going to be coming out in August, August 26th. It's available for pre-order right now. And it's going to be in a couple of configurations. There will be the 8 CD collection. And this is selling, depending on where you go for pre-order, anywhere between $115 to $140 for the CD version of 8 CDs. There will also be a 10 LP collection, which duplicates everything in the 8 CD collection. I like the fact that everything is duplicated in each version of the set. You're not missing something with one versus the other, which sometimes happens. You get everything audio, all the book and print stuff, everything's the same in a 10 LP collection. But this 10 LP collection is selling for a little over $400 pre-order. Wow. Yeah, it's expensive, and it's out of my price range. Superfan and I were talking about this. We both had an interest in it, and we've decided, of course, we're just going to get the CD version.
Right.
And but the fact that they're remastering from the original analog tapes, I think is great. Even on CD, I think that's going to be great. As much as I love vinyl and love LPs, it's a little bit out of the price range. We're going to go with the CD version. It's much more affordable. If you're not interested in the entire catalog, there will be an abbreviated two CD and 4 LP set. Wait a minute, I think it's 3 CDs. Did I write 2? You better double check that. I'm pretty sure it was a 3 CD set, not a 2 CD set. I think I typoed that, but I'm pretty sure it's a 3 CD set and 4 LP set. There will just kind of be a best of the catalog and the outtakes, alternate tracks, all of that, studio demos. You'll kind of get a nice little smattering of all of them. And that'll just be in a much more abbreviated format. And right now, as an advanced release, there is a previously unreleased recording of The Doors, a song Moonlight Drive, recorded by the band, that is available for streaming right now. I know it's on YouTube, and it's probably available on all the other favorite streaming services. So that's coming out. Superfan and I are both very excited to check that one out.
So many great release. I mean, this was a big week for news about upcoming releases. Actually, Dr. John, legendary rock and roll Hall of Famer, he passed away back in 2019. But the good news is we're actually getting a final album from the New Orleans legend that's going to be coming on September 23rd of 2022. The first single off the forthcoming album, which is called Things Happen That Way. The single is titled Sleeping Dogs Best Left Alone. And it's a very infectious track that definitely captures the energy of kind of that New Orleans sound, that of blues and Zydeco and Cajun, all the different things that he brought together, with that really signature voice that he had, and he sounds great on it. And the album is going to have 3 original compositions, but it also is going to have a number of reworkings of other songs by like Willie Nelson, Hank Williams, and even the Traveling Wilburys. So this should be a really exciting album, and hopefully a lasting tribute to Dr. John, who passed away unexpectedly, like I said, back in 2019. So it's really nice that we have that album to look forward to. Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about switch over from upcoming releases to a release that's already out. And this is kind of my review of the album here. It's the latest album by the Drive-By Truckers, entitled Welcome to Club 13. I have been a big fan of the Drive-By Truckers ever since I heard their album Southern Rock Opera. I've always been a big fan of their kind of blend of like Southern rock. They are, I'm just going to say just really quickly about this album, that this album is, I consider it to be kind of a return to form. And let me explain what I mean by that. As a songwriter, Patterson Hood, who is not the only songwriter in the band, but one of the primary ones, has always described himself as a frustrated filmmaker. And he, because he can't make films, he basically writes songs that are these stories that are the stories he wishes he could tell on film. And I've always enjoyed their sometimes dark, sometimes sardonic, sometimes funny, and sometimes cynical and heartbreaking stories of human existence. And in the past albums, political and social concerns in America would sometimes be part of those musical stories. But for their last 3 albums, they have put politics front and center into their songs, which is okay. I don't believe that musicians and artists should shut up and sing. I've never believed in that saying. But if you're going to become political or religious or editorialize in your music, I believe you still need to write songs that are musically strong. Some artists that we have talked about, like Neil Young, Bruce Springsteen, have shown that they can do this. They can talk about their ideologies, their politics, but still write entertaining songs. I think that what happens with the majority of music artists, however, though, is that the message takes precedence over the music. I think this is why I have such a problem with Christian rock. And I'll talk about that subject perhaps in a future video. And I should point out that in case you're thinking, well, he probably just disagrees with Drive-By Truckers' politics. Actually, I'm pretty much in alignment with their politics. But I wasn't that musically engaged with those last 3 albums that they released. You know, I still listened to them. I still bought them because I'm a fan, but I just wasn't as musically engaged as I was with their previous albums. And that's why I feel this album is a return to form, because they've kind of gone back to more personal examinations of human existence, you know, stories about misspent youth, stories about, you know, that are funny, scary, you know, cynical, heartbreaking, just tales of human existence. And that's always what they've been really good at. And the music supports it all. And I feel like this album is a real return to form for them. And it's, you know, I've wanted to recommend their last 3 albums. I have applauded them for taking a stand and for, you know, for writing very complex lyrics, but I felt like the music didn't support it on the past 3 albums. And I just felt like, yeah, like they kind of lost their way a little bit with that. But now they're back, I think, with this new album. And I think it's a real return to form for them. And so for that reason, I recommend the new album. It's called Welcome to Club 13, which is mostly kind of dark and lonely songs about the loneliness of human existence. Only in music can you enjoy that sort of thing. Dark and loneliness and all that, where it's like, wow, that was good. You know. Yeah. Anyways, though,
I agree.
That's my review of the Drive-By Truckers' latest album, Welcome to Club 13, which I do recommend. I do recommend. It's a really good rock album, and that's my only new music review. And I know you've got one more release you want to talk about.
Yeah, just really quickly. I don't know a lot about it, but I did hear late this week or last week, since we're shooting this on Sunday, Two Door Cinema Club, who's this great band I've really enjoyed from Northern Ireland. I've caught them 2 times at Coachella and just love their sets. The band is back with a very, very catchy, upbeat single titled Wonderful Life, very aptly titled. And it's the first single off the band's forthcoming album, which is called Keep On Smiling. Another, you know, which I assume is also sounds very upbeat, maybe coming out of some of these months that have been pretty dark. And that album is going to be released on September 2nd, so later this summer. And this will be the band's first album since 2019, when they released False Alarm. And for those of you that don't know Two Door Cinema Club, you know, they're kind of a bridge between maybe like upbeat new wave music, but guitar oriented, because they have 2 guitars in there, and maybe some of the more dance pop rock that has become kind of big in this century. So they kind of bridge that, and they're just really good. And the lead singer has this really distinctive, great tenor voice, and their songs tend to be very driving and propulsive. And when you see them live, you're just caught up in it, and you want to move with the music, and it's fun. But I would say it's a great new song. Check that out, and then we can look forward to hearing the new album, like I said, on September 2nd.
This is the first I've ever heard of this band, Two Door Cinema Club. And yeah, thanks for letting me know what they sound like. I appreciate that, because I'm definitely gonna go check out the single now. I could do with some 80s fun.
Yeah. And it's not strictly mired in the 80s, but it kind of harkens back to that kind of, euphoric, exuberant kind of sound that a lot of times many of the bands had. So
cool. Okay, great.
So I look forward to the Drive-By Truckers album. I want to hear that one. I haven't checked it out yet, but I definitely will.
Great to hear about great to talk to you about all these new and upcoming releases. And everybody, if we left anything out, please let us know what we left out. If there's upcoming releases that you're excited about, if there's new releases that you're excited about, please tell us a little bit about it. But Robert, good hanging out with you.
Hey, the same, TJ. Great to see you and talk music.
Yeah, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you again next week. And we'll look forward to seeing you all next week. As always, if you like these videos, click like, click subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. A big shout out and thank you to the fierce and mighty patron supporters who are helping us to make more videos. If you'd like to show some extra support, please go to patreon.com/TJR the original, make a monthly pledge. And if you can't, we understand. Just click like and play these videos through to the end, and that'll help. Everybody take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you later, everybody.